Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Jonathan Midhound. I'm joined by my host, Troy Shalakablam. And we finally... Fuck, I fucked that up.
Into the AM is our sponsor for today.
Use code DECKED OUT. We're joined today by guest ZmainCharacter, a.k.a. my sweet Pookie. Let's have a good time. All right, what's the topic?
Being funny, I think.
Oh, fuck.
That's crazy. Why am I here?
There we go. So self-deprecation. That's it. We'll see you
That's
next
it.
time on
That's all you got to know.
Self-deprecation is a core pillar. Okay.
Yeah, today we're talking about comedy and magic and how they go together. And as three people who have found some levels of success being funny and combining that with magic on the internet, it feels like this is the right group to be talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do think if you asked, if you had a worldwide PA system and you could ask everybody to say a quality of their deck they were most proud of, funny does appear in that word cloud pretty strongly. And I think everyone's wrong about it. However, it does appear in the list of qualities you say about your deck. And the tangent I would love to start on is what percentage of cards, roughly, because obviously you can't remember any, how often is it that you think a card is funny? Veggie, please go first, and then we will pass to UC.
That's, I mean, it already, the two funny ways that I can go is what it does to a game is funny, or the, like, some piece of the card has a joke in it. Do you mean a particular one of those, or?
I think I'm leaning towards what it does to the game is funny.
Okay. Saying how often do I?
Like, what percentage of cards do you think are fun? If you had a list of these cards are funny, roughly how many cards do you think would make it on?
I could run away with this right now.
Okay, go
because
ahead.
like for me, the potential for a card to be funny, or like roughly what percentage, 100%. And hear me out. Because there's always been a time where either a dud card appears at the table, or a just like completely, from the rafters, hitting people in the face kind of card comes out, or it's all context. Because like every now and then a counterspell will just absolutely hit me in the funny bone, whether I hit it or somebody else does. So it's just like, I find it to be a weird question, because it's mostly like, it really depends on the person and like the play for the card to be funny.
So no subtlety, no nuance on the internet. You heard it here first. Counterspell, funny magic card.
Funny
Very
as heck.
funny magic. I think that's perfect yin yang for the two of us, because I had the same reasoning for I don't think any cards are funny. That's where my entire platform is me going, look at how funny this card is. I'm like deeply disillusioned. Like, none of these cards are funny. People are funny.
People are funny. Yes.
The things you can get people to do because of the cards can be funny, but the cards themselves,
I think Chaos Warp is pretty great.
it's not. Chaos Warp is only funny because irony exists as a concept.
I also so far your list of funny cards are Counterspell and Chaos Warp. It's like Swords of Plowshares, hilarious card.
What if you lost a creature but you gained life?
All right, I think there are a number of cards that are genuinely funny on their own outside of context. The number of those cards is very, very low.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
Can you give me one for the people, for you all?
Goblin Game.
I'm trying to remember what that is. Is that where you like grab a number of items?
Yes.
You little
my
rat.
God.
That is a genuinely funny magic card for what it does for the game, and it is not reliant on what context that it's being played in. It is just a funny card.
Okay. Give me a quick yes no. Scrambleverse, funny magic card.
Concept, yes. Reality, no.
Okay, you saved you. I was like,
Yes.
Safe.
It's funny to know that card exists.
funniest text box in the world, least funny card to resolve.
Yes.
Every story I've ever heard about Scrambleverse goes, and then I resolved it 3 times. We conceded without actually figuring out what the hell happened, but 3 times.
I I don't think I can give details. Scrambleverse has been in a decked out gameplay deck list one time exactly, and that was one. I don't believe two. Airball is saying two. Well, that was a mistake. Apparently, it's been in 2 deck lists, but I've only put it in 1 deck list. It was only because I knew that I would be editing the episode and was willing to take that hit if it resolved, because this was the only situation where I was like, it is worth it for the bit. And that is because the episode, which I don't think will be released by the time that this podcast is released, we started real aggressive on the bit. So that's the one time out of like over 100 some games that I was like, all right, fine, it's got to be done. This is the only time.
Let's talk about Blim, because I've been sitting on not a rivalry, a vendetta, since the whole time I've known these people. Let's talk about a motherfucker with a Blim deck who hit me with a captive audience the first day I met him.
Was that me?
That was you. I've never forgotten. I've never fucking forgotten. I only bring that up because captive audience is one of the most submitted to me as check out this funny card I don't think you've heard of. And the don't think you've heard of part is whatever. There's a ton of Magic cards we haven't heard of.
Yeah.
But here's this funny card and I'm like, what's wrong with you? What the fuck is... So before... All right, to not derail the train too hard, what I'm thinking of here is a lot of people want to play funny Magic cards and a lot of people want to, more importantly, play their cards in a funny way.
Yes.
And so a thing I would like to talk about is what we feel the guidelines are for how do I use cards funnily. And one of the things I would like to bring up is what I consider the like gray zone where comedy dies. And this is where your cards are mostly effective at winning you the game, but not quite. And I don't think this is a like yes or no binary, much like gender. I think it's very like, if it is a minus card at winning you the game, those are the hardest to make funny. Some things that just win you the game outright can be hilarious if they are like a surprise, if they bring up irony or subvert something, or if they're like not winning you the game at all. Also drop dead hilarious.
Yes.
How do we feel about that?
I mean, yeah, I could be on board with that because like one of the number one things about like creating like fun and engaging and funny gameplay, is not creating a deck that's just going to decimate the table. Right. It's where you are all on relatively equal footing to where you can subvert one another at some point during the gameplay. And the win comes out, not necessarily out of nowhere, but there is a buildup of anticipation into the punchline.
Yeah. I was going to... You segued me into it. I was like, well, this can't be a conversation about comedy without one of us going subverting expectations.
There you go. There's another one. You need to subvert expectations.
Right. But that really, I mean, the best way for you to play your cards funny is by doing that. And so if a card is good at winning you the game and you play it, it is going to be very difficult for you to find a situation where somebody is like, haha, my expectations have been subverted by you winning this game with Craterhoof Behemoth. Who would have thought?
Golly gee.
So yeah, like cards that can win you the game in an unexpected way, the big potential for funny. Cards that are used in a way that it seems like they weren't intended to. Say chaos warping one of your own permanents.
Yes.
you found potential for funny there. Or usually the easiest one is play bad cards because people aren't expecting to see them because the cards are bad. And then if you can use them in a way that is good, additional like subversion, it's like, wow, I didn't expect to see X shit card, and I did not expect for it to blow me out. Ha ha ha, what good comedy.
I would like to bring up one, I guess, extension to that, which is like subverting expectations has to evolve with what your friend group's expectations are, because sometimes you can hit what are like global expectations straight on the head and have it be hilarious. One of the funniest CEDH games I was ever a part of was somebody turn 1 natural Thoracled. Like they had Thoracle demonic consultation. Nobody had a counter spell, and they were just like, wait, do I win? Because
they went all in, expecting it to be
they just got
just the end of them.
They had no counters. They were supposed to be the control deck, and the other deck that would have like had the turn 1 interaction also kept natural Thoracle with no protection. And so sometimes you can get like the least funny cards imaginable. Like Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consult is like the most salt-inducing, unhilarious, and we were just like,
you know what's funny is I have I guess this whole episode's about what's funny, but I have a different Thoracle Consult funny CEDH story, which was also somebody turn 1'd it, but their turn 1 was just cast demonic consultation, and everybody goes, yeah, aren't you doing that wrong? And they're like, no. We're like, oh, okay. And they go, okay, the card I name is the Thassa's Oracle. And they just flip the deck over, and it's on the bottom because they had mulliganed.
oh my fucking God.
And same thing. Everyone's like, all right, so we have interaction for this, right? Nope. That's funny.
That is funny.
That is. Okay, so we've conclusively proven.
I needed to be on record that you had just agreed that cards are funny in that context. Not no cards are funny. It's just...
Well, it's that people are funny rather than the cards.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still standing my ground.
Get semantic done. So now we have conclusively proven that Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consultation is a funny combo and therefore appropriate at every level of play.
Funniest combo in the game.
Oh, God.
Veggie, what's next?
Is this the message we're putting out into the world?
Show this to your children.
Where do you find comedy in Magic the Gathering? Since I think we all do it differently, and within the game, within an actual game itself, is not always the way that we are doing it.
I think it's just the game as a whole is like, so, well, first, the thing that made me want to pursue pointing out just how silly of a game or an environment it is because previously it was taken way too seriously. way too serious. People like lived by it, died by it, like pressed their entire personality onto it. And didn't really give anybody like breathing space to like explore. And then that slowly started like softening. People started just playing it casually together. Commander became the main format. And really, I just look at it as like...
Sorry, I just saw Airball. Airball wins.
Just wilted in the corner.
Executive Lotus Field player. Scowling.
And really, what Magic reminds me of is, when you're little kids and you're just running around with your friends and you go like, I have a fireball. And like the other kid goes, nuh-uh, because I have a shield. And it's like this whole like, nuh-uh thing. Like that's what this game is, but just solidified with cards. Like you just have to have the card to say, haha, I do this instead. Like it's the idea behind playing Magic is just so silly. And you get a bunch of adults coming around the table like saying these funny words and acting like wizards. Like it in itself is a funny game. The thing that makes it difficult to be funny about is that you have to know it. You have to know it, you have to experience it, and you have to keep on putting time and effort and energy into it in order to have those moments and see those funny moments or be able to receive those funny moments as well.
I have a minor disagreement, or a counter example in a game that we were in, because I think the comedy comes from two places. The easy one is the visual imagery. This can be achieved by looking at the card Slippery Boggle and then imagining equipping Colossus Hammer to it. Yeah. That is a funny image if you animate that Family Guy style in your head of Slippery Boggle with a hammer beating somebody to death. The other place is in irony or subverting expectations, where in 1v1 Magic, you can be precise, methodical. You can plan things out incredibly well. And Commander is too complicated and too reliant on social decisions for you to ever truly be perfect. You can play better and better, but because you can't be perfect, so many people look that strategic void, that tactical abyss in the face and went, well, I'm going to shoot you because I don't like the hat you wore. And that is then again funny. And the example I want to bring up of you don't have to be good to be funny is we were playing with our friends, one of whom does not play very much Magic. And I swung a Sphinx at them in the air, not my favorite Sphinx that takes your creatures, a Sphinx that exiles out the top till you hit an instant or sorcery, and then I get to cast it.
Yep.
And I told them, I need to get interaction to deal with this person's board. The other two are unlikely to hit a kill spell. I think you will. This is 4 damage. You're at 42 life. And I went to combat and they went swords on the Sphinx. And I went, what the fuck are you doing? And they were like, you hit me. And I was mad. I'm still mad. But the other people at the table, including you, cracked the fuck up.
I was crying.
There were the swords in their hand. There was a threat at the table totally deserving of it. And I think
it was me too.
It was you. And I was digging through their deck to get something like a sword to save the rest of us. And they were like, you swung at me. What are you doing? And that is hilarious precisely because of how inexperienced they are. So I think it comes from the strategic irony of like, you can be infinitely good at this game and it causes some people to go like, fuck it, you got the longest eyelashes, bang, bang.
What are your thoughts that makes the game Magic the Gathering funny?
Well, you touched on this a little bit, that in order to you have to invest a good bit in this game to play it, to enjoy it. There's a lot to know. And that means that you have a very, very specific shared interest with these other people. And so that there's so much room, because a lot of comedy is also connecting with other people. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, a joke just doesn't work if a person doesn't understand a reference that you make. Mm-hmm. And so this gives you so much to reference that, people know these things. They're in their brains, but they have to like dig deep to find the little thing that you've spoken about. And there's something special about making a connection with someone in a way that takes a moment.
Yeah.
Where they have to like SpongeBob, like pulling files, like, wait, we know this thing. They said slippery boggle. That's magic card. And that is not a thing I would have thought of in this situation. And therefore we've connected and also funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say that about any shared interest, but there are a lot of different things, a lot of different hobbies or whatever, that the investment is much lower. Mm-hmm. That you can have the same level of enjoyment by just like knowing the basics. And Magic is not that thing. So that guarantees that it's like, oh, you play Magic? Great. I have this wide range of things that I can reference for funnies. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have a bird pun. Just trying to pull one up.
Oh, okay.
Damn, that's crazy. Slacking on the job.
Just wing it.
Fuck.
Bump set spike, baby. That's teamwork. Some of us has to fall so others can rise.
You know what? Speaking of that, actually, with the falling thing, I think... No. This is going somewhere. This is going somewhere. I think one of the reasons that people fail to be funny when they're playing their deck is that they're not willing to play the villain or the victim. Mm. And so many people want to, hog the mic, so to say, in something that is a communal effort or communal enjoyment. And, they're not willing to be the one that like takes the hit for somebody else to do something silly or whatever. And then like they start getting upset about it. And so it's just like, if you don't have, I want to say backbone, but really the funny bone, to bump set spike somebody else in the game, like you're going to have a hard time being funny or having fun playing Magic or making an actual funny deck. So that's another thing to take into consideration, where people like build their deck around I'm going to do this thing. And then when they realize that this is once again, they realize it's an interactive game, they go, my deck didn't do the thing and now I'm mad. And that's just, I'll still find that funny if somebody comes to the table and then they get upset that their deck didn't do the thing. But so many people work their decks that way and they're just like, why am I failing to be funny at Magic? Because it's an interactive thing.
It is improv, and as we all know, improv is terrible.
No, it's not. Also, I have a gun.
You're supposed to say that.
Also, I also have a gun.
You
don't. I am the only
Stop
one with a
saying
gun.
no.
I don't have a gun.
Improv
I
is
have an
about
apple.
yes and. And there's a bomb strapped to my chest. All right, so I'm gonna steal from your note sheet. Magic has tried to be funny,
yes,
a few times, and it's generally gone disastrously wrong. Right, like that's the sentiment I've gotten from the community. Not that I think it's failed. I often think that Magic's in-joke cards are funny, but I feel like the sentiment I've most often seen is a small amount of great appreciation and then incredible rancor. That's a Magic card.
It's pretty incredible. Okay, that I think then we need to decide, because there are a lot of ways that Magic itself, like from Wizards of the Coast, this is designed to be funny. They have done unsets. This is we are marketing this as a joke set. These cards are not even legal because they do silly things. They've also done like cards that are in playable sets that are jokes but function correctly within the game and are fine to be. And then they've done like you could consider like some of the secret layers and like themes of things to be funny as well. So do you mean all of those things, or is there one you're...
I think I mean all. With respect to the ones the community has received badly, I think I'm talking most about like Karlov Manors and Thunder Junction.
Okay,
I considered those to be... They tried to do funny, haha, wearing hats, and everybody went, you just put them in fucking hats?
Okay, yeah, let's start there. That's a good place to start, because that is pretty universal. Like they just what Mark Rosewater mentioned this in the I don't remember what he calls it, but he talks about like the sets from the past year and what went well and what didn't go well. And one of the biggest ones, because they were talking about like Duskmorn and Murders, and they were just like, yeah, people hated that. we failed at that. That was we failed. We learned. Sorry, won't do it again.
The thing is that they tend to be funny with these things and then they flop, but they unintentionally do the funniest things, specifically with Murder at Karlov Manor. I remember I was watching like the opening like YouTube stream from them. And they're like, yeah, we were trying to figure out like what plane were we going to have and for this set and everything. We're originally going to create a whole new one. And then we realized that like, it's been a while since we've been back to Ravnica, and there's a ton of people really love these characters from Ravnica. And I'm just like, oh, great, they're going to kill these characters from Ravnica. And like chat like blew up. It was just like, they have no idea that they're being funny. And then when they try to be funny, it just kind of goes downhill from there.
Yeah, it's tough because I'm gonna argue against this, but it is like they failed when they tried to be funny here. They're like, we see potential. We have this theme, and there are some tropes, and we can play on those tropes, and that is a way to create comedy, which is true. That is, I think we've all done some sort of that at some point.
Not me.
I need that to be a thing that's funny and still funny, because that is a common avenue for me to be like, hey, you know that thing that you're familiar with that is not magic? Well, what if also there's some magic in it? And that's the whole joke. And I need people to still find that funny, so I have a job. But the problem is, for I think every single instance of we referenced a thing and it failed, was they then did not, there was no joke with it. They're like, all we have to do is reference the thing and then therefore funny, right? And that is not enough.
I don't know, man. Did you read Holy Cow?
Oh my God.
Put that card on the fucking screen. You'll see this card. Come on.
Well, wait, okay.
It's not always enough, but in that one instance, Holy Cow was enough.
Okay, but wait, but that I think is an exception, because a lot of these things, a lot of the things from those sets did not work for people. That is one that I've consistently heard, like, all right, this is pretty good.
Yeah, we got Holy Cow.
Okay, wait, all right, then what is it about Holy Cow that overcame that issue, whereas other things from that set did not? Because there were a lot of things that just did not hit for people in Outlaws.
I have my answer locked in. Do you have an answer, Z? Or would you like me to go first?
For 100 points, please. What is subverting?
We're going to require that you elaborate, because otherwise we will just pass the mic around and go, subvert?
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 Subvert. Subvert.
Because I think the reason Holy Cow worked is that it is such a disastrously bad card that you are doing the tactical subversion of, I am playing this exclusively so that I can say, Holy Cow! And then there's another layer to it that I think scratches the itch of the folks who play Limited even more, which is that it's actually fine in Limited again.
Yep.
Like in Commander, you're only playing this for the joke, which makes it funny. And then in Limited, you're playing it for the joke and like, oh my God, a flyer with flash? oh. I could do something with that.
I would offer that Holy Cow was funny in that set because it is not on theme.
Yep.
What about any of that card is like Western themed?
Cow.
That is the only one.
Cow. That's
Cow.
all. That's all.
Right, but it wasn't like like they didn't go like cowboy cow.
Yeah,
and it has a hat and it can ride the other cows. Let's not worry about that phrasing.
What are we talking about?
Right, because that would not have worked. But the rest of this card is not within the theme. It was clearly somebody went, oh well. Holy cow, what if we have cows in this? What if we did an angel cow that was Holy Cow? And then probably somebody was like, all right, what does that have to do with the rest of the set? What does that have to do with the setting here? And we don't really have an angel theme. We have a few cows, I guess. What is it? Holy cow is not like a term that's used in the Old West. What does that have to do with anything? And they were just like, well, but like it's a cow, but it's an angel.
It's also explicitly an ox. If I remember.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the creature type is ox as well, which makes it even funnier to me.
I'm sorry. Did we think that in the 1800s they didn't have Jesus? They had holy things. That's two. It's not just cows. I rest my case.
All right, and that's how to be funny in magic. Yes, I the more that I think about it, the more that I'm on board with my own idea. We can clip that. I can just say that.
So I think I will agree with you partially. I will put 1 foot in your territory, partner. And the place I will agree with you is I don't think it's that it was out of trope. I think it was that they gave up on trying to make it seem serious. And the thing that didn't work for all the other ones is like, I'm Vraska and I'm a serious cowboy. Whereas I think if Vraska had like if Vraska's ability was named Rootin' Tootin', I think it would have worked. I think if they had named everything with the same level of whimsy that they named Holy Cow with, they could have still been in the trope and it would have worked, but because it looked like they were trying to do the trope genuinely, but without great effort, it failed. It looked like they were putting everybody in hats, but not as a goof. It looked like we put everybody in hats and we're being very serious about this, and it's only a little funny. And then, holy cow! I think to compare it with the with the upcoming Spider-Man set, there's a card that's been revealed where all the combat tricks are just sound effects. And I think those are going to be the holy cow of Spider-Man. There's literally Kerchop or something is a fucking green, or Kaplow or something. And
I'm wondering how they make that one sound when the villain comes in the Spider-Verse. You know what sound I'm talking about.
Yeah. They don't have that one, but they do have Thwip.
Okay.
In somebody's pre-release, somebody go in response, Thwip. And it will blow you out, and that's hilarious.
It also means that in somebody's chaos draft, they can go, all right, I'm gonna kaplow my holy cow.
and so I think in the same, to circle it back and make the conversation that I started not be useless, in the same vein as the card has to totally win you the game or be terrible at winning you the game, and there's this gray area where it's tough to be funny, I think they came in at 90% serious for so many of the designs, and that made it really hard. I think if they had been hyper authentic and really made the characters feel like they were part of the world, it might have been received better. And I think it might have been received better if it was just everything was holy cow level of stupid, high effort on the back end, but the front facing side of it looks like they were just who fucking cares, man? What do you think about that? Do you think that would have, is there anything to that?
I think there's something to that.
You do need a zig to zag. So I do agree there has to be a trope to break from, and that the things that break from the tropes are going to be funnier because there's a trope to break from. But I feel like the trope, the ones they didn't break from, failed because they were in that gray area of too serious without really selling it. Yeah.
Because when there is something that you're referencing in general for comedy, the reference is the connecting point, but it is not the joke. You are saying, hey, that thing that you know about already, and your audience goes, yes, we do know about that thing. You're like, great, now I can do a joke. But a lot of these Vraskas and stuff, they went, hey, that trope you know about, and the Magic players go, yes, we do know that trope, and then the rest of it was just great. That's it.
Yep.
And we're so yeah, if you look I'll come back to holy cow. That works because they took they're not necessarily a trope, but they were like, hey, some part of this you will understand. The phrase "holy cow." You understand that is not to be taken literally, right? This is just an exclamation of surprise, haha. But what if we could express the literal definition of that in Magic terms, mechanics, etc. And each part of it makes sense. They're like, okay, we've taken this literally, but in a way that it's like, okay, is it a cow? Great, you know that's a thing that we're doing in this set.
It's not a cow.
And it is, and here is the Magic type equivalent of ox. And then, oh, holy, okay, we can express that by making this thing an angel as well. We now also have, we have this ridiculous ridiculous idea of an angel ox. There's additional comedy. We've also given the thing flash, which is then the magic expression of being
Cows
surprised.
showing their junk.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So they went past just, oh, here is a reference. I'm looking at another card because I was looking for examples of like what didn't work. Here's one, Loan Shark. Which I feel like was close to being funny, but it is just, here's a shark giving a loan, and it's similar. It's like, okay, you've taken the literal idea and it is kind of expressed, but the Holy Cow takes that and is like, hey, we fully fleshed out how this would be expressed in Magic, and this is just, oh, it's a shark giving a loan, and then we kind of tacked on the closest thing that we had because we needed something else that would plot and do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think Loan Shark would have carried. But listen, everybody, I'm gonna give away game real quick. Ooh. I'm gonna end all three of our careers.
No, I'm too young and pretty for it to end.
I'll end Veggie and Mai's career.
No, I'm too pretty.
90%. Hush, darling. 90% of comedy is words meaning two things. I hate it. It is devastating. The cleverest things I have ever written are not as funny as when words mean two things. Mm-hmm. And so like when we're talking about this, if you're trying to be funny in Magic or in your daily life, if you hit upon a sentence where you can use a word and it means two things equally, mm-hmm. that's gold. Yep. I am sorry to say. And so with Loan Shark, I actually think that would have been Blue's Holy Cow if the mechanic felt Loan Sharky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If they, because holy shit, Loan Shark, and it's a shark giving a loan. If they had the mechanical, because Holy Cow feels like an angel. It's coming out of nowhere in the air to save you.
Yes.
If they had made it feel like a Loan Shark too, mm-hmm. comedy.
So ultimately, to put a little bow on this, it sounds like they're just not going full in the way they should be, mm-hmm. and taking that last minute turn that really makes the joke stick.
Yeah, they're not committing. Mm-hmm. It's like somebody who's laughing during their own punchline, which if you are, comedy comes in 27s. And so when you give a punchline, you either have to be perfectly clean or you have to be fucking dying. I think if you are also dying, it works. But if you're like, if you're just like, come. If you're just doing that and then you don't say something as hilarious as come, mm-hmm. It tends to not work as well. And I feel like that's kind of what WotC has done. And maybe that is because the design process has to involve so many people, right? Like mm-hmm. it's difficult to workshop a joke with more than, I would say, 2 people involved in it. Mm-hmm. How do we like, I don't know, what's your maximum?
I think the maximum is 3 because I like somebody who
doesn't want to get kicked off the podcast. Smart.
Yeah,
That's smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Exactly. Yeah, this is all selfish desires over here. Because I like a naysayer to make us think just a little bit more rather than like, mm-hmm. I mean, think about like podcasts. A lot of them are just made from just 2 guys. They're just like, I think we're great. And then, get on a podcast, and not a lot of them are pretty great. So you usually need a third person.
It's not us, right?
I feel like that doesn't describe us because we're actually great.
We are pretty great. Oh,
yeah. So
all right, I was worried. I was worried.
Yeah.
3 is my magic number. Mm-hmm. Also, it's just like 3 Stooges. Like you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanna bring this up because we've now there have been 2 convenient segues into it. 90% of comedy is word have 2 meaning or words sound like other word. And that's the
I love when words sound like other word. Right? Oh man.
Honestly, my career in Magic content started with word sound like other word because I was doing parody songs, which a lot of the comedy comes from. I was expecting you to say the word from the song. Instead, you said other word that sound like that word enough to have made for me to make the connection. But it was not the word I was expecting, but it was close and therefore funny. Mm-hmm. But yes, a lot of comedy is that, and I am frequently humbled by the greatest naysayer to check if your joke is actually funny. Nerd Girl.
Yeah.
I don't need Nerd Girl. I have a YouTube analytics page. leave me in fucking peace.
So many times have I been like, this joke is great. And she will just break it down to, okay, so it's because the word you said sounds like this other word. And I'm like, yes.
It's just like
That's not all, but I don't have anything else that I can say that it is. I know that there's more to it. I just can't defend that. And so it's that is funny. That is funny when you actually that's a really good point. Good job, me. There's also a lot of comedy in wow, this is gonna go full circle.
Veggie's just in a room by himself right now, where figments of his imagination
Right?
and just
there's a lot of humor in someone who is very, very involved in a thing being upended by something very simple. And that is also a thing that can happen in your Magic games, where someone's like, all right, so I've put together my little machine where I have this 7-piece combo, and all I have to do is this, and then this triggers this, and you do this, and then the one person goes, hey, so I have this on the board which says that you can't tap that for, and the person goes, that's, or just somebody's like, okay, cool, I can just attack you and you die, right? And they're like, oh, you're like, ooh. So that's also a way that you get a lot of funny moments in the game, but in the same way that I just get stabbed directly in the heart when my jokes are explained to be words sound like other word, and I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah. This is why I love the naysayers so much. And it's like, it's on that vein of like, words can sound like something else. For me, somebody who's dyslexic, I purposely go on my way of just like, they didn't mean it like that. They said something else, like listen closely. So it's just like, those things don't work on me as often as I would like them to, or my brain doesn't go to those things as often because I'm explicitly being like, they said come, right? Right? Yes. Excellent. We're on the same page. Yes.
I'm going to bring it to another really crushing aspect of comedy, which is how much of it is just on delivery. Like there's a thing of, I think most people understand, say something dangerous given the metrics of our viewing audience. Many people understand, independent of language, when you're supposed to laugh. There is like a you fucker. There is a like
got him.
Derailed. Yes. But there are human timings to when we are telling jokes. There are human timings to when we are doing a thing funny, and there's that little and they look around and wait for the reaction. And one thing I've noticed in my own writing, which hopes to be comedic, fails often, hopes to be comedic, is how much simpler the lines have gotten and how much more I'm just underlining words, being like, I have to figure out how to inflect in a way that sells this very normal word as funny. But I know this word is the punchline, but this word is not the punchline if you feed it into a joke describer. Like, I won't be able to tell you why that's funny, but it's the difference between saying crab and crab if you're a purveyor of Ben Bateman skits. Love you, Ben. But like that, but if you just like crab, like wouldn't land. But there's a lot of dressing up you can do with delivery. And so if you don't feel, and so this is again an aside for if you want to feel funnier in your Magic games, even if you don't feel like, oh, I don't have a clever pun. I'm trying to play Magic. I'm not trying to solve word puzzles right now, you dipshits. If you just watch any stand-up or watch things that are generally agreed upon to be funny that are in the cultural zeitgeist right now, you can just learn and mimic those timings. And a lot of things that you think are otherwise mundane can become funny if you hit delivery timings correctly.
So you're saying that we can net deck comedy?
Oh my.
We can just go online and look up the best the best comedic delivery list and then just import that into Arena.
And you'll get some
This is
laughs.
tragic.
Hey. You'll get some laughs. Hey, it'll work. I hate you. It'll work.
Yeah, you don't have to be particularly clever. You really don't when it comes to like comedy. Because like even like sometimes like games are like trudging along and things like that, right? Nobody's mood is up or anything. And like, you know, let's say you're on the back foot, right? And somebody plays something. If you react in a funny way, you can change the entire mood of the table from there. You don't have to say anything particularly clever, but it's just like people really live for just reactions, you know? And so
It's all
like
react content.
it's all react content. So by producing that yourself and figuring out, you know, just saying like, even just like grunting can be funny at the right moment, essentially. So it really is just that punctuation that you put on things.
Oh, well-timed sigh.
Oh, devastating.
Yep.
I would even say being clever in many cases hurts you when you're trying to be funny. I think the most often thing you caution me about is I'm like, I can't figure out this script. And they're like, why are you 8 feet up your own ass on this joke?
Oh, like just like, give me. Where are you going?
Right.
Like,
And I'm like, but you don't understand. It's a reference to this other video where I made this comment about the state of the Imperial Republic in Star Wars. They're going to get it, baby. They're going to.
or like you enjoy catching me at times where I'm not like fully paying, like either like I'm doing cosplay or something else. And like you're reading a joke to me and you are waiting to see if I actually laugh at it or not to like give you intel about how it's going.
Well, because that's the audience, right? Everybody's doom scrolling. Even if people are being respectful and aren't on their phone or are paying attention to the Commander game, they're never going to be 100% listening to what you're saying because they're planning their next turn. They're worried about what you might play rather than the funny joke you're trying to set up. They're worried about what some player next to or across from them might do in response. Puppy. And so I purposely try to catch you when you're busy because I'm like, if they don't laugh when they're busy, it's not funny.
Yeah,
Like
you've explicitly walked in and be like, don't pay attention to me, but I am going to mouth off.
Yeah. Where, like if the joke is so clever that they have to be listening 100%, that can never be, you can only tell those jokes after they've laughed at you already and you just like grab them with the sentence before they can get away.
Oh, all right. Oh no, that's a.
Because I've had to tell Kuro about this where I'm like, that you wrote a second sentence joke. That is not a first sentence joke.
Yeah, I have to take this tangent a little bit is because the direction that like online comedy has gone is that you have to have first sentence jokes, and very often you just don't have time, or your viewer is out of attention for a second sentence joke. Before you could get like, if somebody was committing to watching a video online, they will give you like a couple minutes of their time.
Yeah.
Was how things were. If you look at a lot of comedy, you know, from the earlier days of the internet, then the jokes have, it's like, here you look at the setup, they're setting up, and joke. And that's what the online attention span was. And you cannot do that comedy anymore. Because people are gone, you know, 10 seconds into your setup.
3 seconds in.
Less.
Like the way I've had to begin writing videos that I intend to be funny are, I have 3 seconds to And the way I've been thinking about it is I have to tell you the punchline in the first 3 seconds for you to make the informed decision about if you are willing to invest the 40 seconds in watching me execute it, and then you go into setup. But you have like 5 seconds to establish, here's the joke. Are you interested in that kind of joke? Okay, now here's 30 seconds of me doing the joke.
See, you two are lucky that you get to like essentially like get a line in to like engage people. For me, most of my comedy is taking one like pop culture thing and then taking magic and then making them kiss. And like,
so it's like when a thing sounds like another thing.
No. It's like, so I don't even get to have like a line in because usually I'm using like a viral sound or like an idea and I'm taking it and running it with magic or something like that. So this is why, hello again. Hi.
Little creature,
oh my
come
goodness.
here.
I can't not say hi to her.
Yeah. For those of you who are listening on podcasting platforms,
There's a dog on set.
There's a
dogs are in the
dog.
room.
Come here,
There is a
Guinevere.
sweet little creature
Come
on the
here.
set. I have to make it incredibly visually engaging. And like I constantly have people in my DMs being like, hey, I did the same exact video as you. How come like it didn't have any views? And they're like, they have the camera like down here looking up at their chin, mouthing to the words. And like, just like, no, you have to visual lighting. Like,
Well, and your caption game
Oh,
is
yeah, my caption game's pretty
ridiculous.
high.
Like,
Love of God, don't do that into the mic.
oh, shit, sorry.
bam, bam. But yeah, like I remember when we first started sharing notes on content, it was just so much like, oh, how are you so good at it? Because that was a skill you had to practice so much, was like, you have the first frame. What are people seeing? They are now deciding if they are watching the thing.
yeah.
Yep.
You have to fight. You have to fight through like, guy setting his arm on fire, or here's the most beautiful sunset that you've ever seen in your life. You have each of these platforms are showing just the most incredible and interesting things, and you have to fight for that space with your stupid magic joke.
Oh, it's also like all these ones that are just like, like this is the most incredible things. They show it for like a split second and then they take you on the journey. And like, that's the new thing you have to do in the space. It's like, new is, I guess not exactly new because like the caption game has been going on for a while.
Yeah, but I have noticed an emerging, oh God, we're going to get deep in the fucking swamp now. I have noticed an emerging content meta of you have to give people the destination, like first frame of the video. You have to give them the end point, and then they will let you bring them back there if they decide that end point is something they want. But like 2 years ago, you could be a little cute. You could be a little mysterious. And now I don't know if it's because content has gotten bigger or if tastes have changed, but now it's like, if you have any mystery about what that video is about, they are gone. They are not putting up with it.
I have a giant redirect here because I want to
Are you
talk
paying
about
5 life or the 2 mana?
that's a tiny misdirect. Or redirect. That's I'll gladly pay 2 with the options to maybe make 2 creatures not block or destroy an artifact. But
I was talking about redirect lightning.
yes, I know you were.
All right. Well, now you redirected my redirect. And puppy, come here.
Oh. So
I'm so excited for everyone to see this glorious creature. Look at her.
I think they will have been able to see.
Veggie, please blur the dog out.
Oh, no.
She has not signed a consent waiver. Hi.
All right. I think people have some very different opinions on the success of this. I think the majority of these have been excellent. Magic has done unsets. They have done decidedly joke sets. These are made to be funny. They are so funny, in fact, that we don't recommend that you play them with other cards. They've done like five sets.
I do believe the
Unglued, Unhinged, Unfinity, Unsanctioned, Unstable. I think is everything. Yeah. So Wizards has straight up done comedy.
I would also grandfather in Gavin Verhey's Unknown event. Like that's a sealed event, but there's a lot of like
those are so
jokey,
good.
and that's not all jokes, but there's definitely some jokes happening.
Yeah.
I agree. I would put that in a slightly different category because those are all self-contained within the card.
Yes.
Rarely is there any. It's like here's a single joke contained within this single card. The unsets are. Here is an entire set with which we can do these second sentence jokes.
Okay.
So they're like certainly within the same ballpark, but I think there's a big difference where they can go, hey, this whole set is a joke, so we are able to flesh out these comedic moments.
So my only experience is with Unfinity, and that was one of the first drafts that I did when I came back into Magic.
Oh.
And so it's just like, cause like I did Magic in like 2011 to like 2016, 17, took a massive break and then came back in like 2019. And then really was just like, okay, now I really want to try draft again. And like, I think it hits. I think it's amazing. I think it's great. Because first off, like taking people out of the serious of Magic is phenomenal. It's one of the best things that we can do for the health of the game. But also they're so successful in it in the sense that like they're not just getting a chuckle out of people, they're also getting people to like engage with one another in like really funny ways. Because I remember when people draft, there's the signature book in that draft. And I remember being like, well, I can't do anything with this. This doesn't make any sense. How am I supposed to get signatures? And sure enough, somebody was just like running around the entire LGS getting signatures from everybody. And she's like, that's hilarious. That's amazing. And they got so much from that one card when they got to play it because it had all those signatures. It's actually now framed at Gamelandia, which is one of my favorite game stores in Palo Alto. Go see them. They're amazing. Because they managed to squeeze so much onto it. And it's just like, now that's like, it was so funny that it's now framed in a game store. Like they're great in my personal experience.
That I agree with. I think it's interesting that most, I think I'm correct in saying that most people would disagree with you on that set.
Interesting.
As far as I know, Unfinity was not received well.
Is it because of the stickers?
That's certainly one piece.
It has a great deal to do with the stickers.
I can understand the stickers. They were a little wild.
I think the stickers are excellent. I think that's a really funny thing to do. There's so much humor there on like, I can't believe that I am putting stickers onto my Magic cards. I can't believe that this is a mechanically relevant thing within this set. I think it is genuinely really fun and well executed within the set itself. And then they shot themselves directly in the foot by going, but that is a thing that you can do in regular Magic now. It's like, that's the whole point of these sets, is that you are doing things that are so silly they should not interact with the rest of the game. And I think they would. That's a big factor that would not have been received the same way if they had just been like, oh, of course that's not legal and other things.
Yeah.
So does that mean that the core defining characteristic of if a Magic set is funny or not is if it fucks up Legacy? Is that the prerequisite? If we mandate Legacy bans, you're funny. If you don't,
Yes.
I got one yes on camera.
I think that is a big factor. Is there if a game piece is inherently funny, what it does to the game is silly, wacky, strange, different, then some part of it cannot be common. So if this thing, like for instance, Mind Goblin, turned out to be a powerful card that needed to be played in certain decks, because that thing became common, it was then not funny.
Yeah.
True.
It infiltrated a space where people wanted to take things more seriously, and those people felt like they could not do that.
Do you think that anybody has footage of the first Legacy player to get hit with Mind Goblin these nuts? Do you think anybody recorded that like pivotal moment, like the very first one, before anybody knew it was going to be meta, just like a random FNM event, just like thank you, Hammy, just like a random FNM event. And they were like,
it exists somewhere.
What's that? Oh, I just cast Mind Goblin. What's Mind Goblin? Like the world must have stopped for that person.
Just complete silence across the globe for one split second. That player was given a universal beat.
Yeah. See, because we're removed from it, we can find it funny. It has not infiltrated our spaces, and therefore.
Well, I was actually, to that point, the unsets are one of the most consistent things that I think are funny. And whenever anybody shows me a commander deck idea for them, I'm like, you got to keep that 100 feet away from me at all times. And so it is like they all fall into the Scrambleverse zone. If I see individual cards, like I just looked at Count Von Count or Baron Von Count.
Yeah.
Sorry. Baron Von Count. And I've seen some other Unfinity cards, and I look at the text box and I go, hilarious. And I look at the decks you can make and I'm like, stay back.
I'm sad to hear that Unfinity, I must have been in my own box that Unfinity was not well received, because I remember the cons afterwards, there were so many Deadliest Gamer cosplays.
Yes.
Because people were just in love with that card.
I think people really resonated with pieces of it.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest problems was it was not, it infiltrated spaces that made people upset because of cards being legal in other formats. It did not feel as fleshed out comedically as some of the previous onsets to me. Like they did a good job with it, but I feel like some of the previous ones they crushed. Like there were so many cards that were funny. There was everything felt really like lovingly put together, and only individual cards out of Unfinity felt that way. Like I don't know. Like I played a lot of Unhinged in my day.
Back in my day.
And what's interesting is that some of the mechanics in that set are abysmal. I think Mark Rosewater has said that it is one of the greatest mechanical mistakes they've ever made in that. And to have that in your mind that, oh, we made a joke set. It's a joke. Wow, we really screwed that up. Has got to be that's saying something about it. But and specifically they in Unhinged they had across the set a lot of things that interacted with speaking. Cards that cared about whether you were speaking or not. Cards that cared about when you said certain words. Cards that cause you to read things out loud. And when you played that genuinely, it was very, very silly. Because you could combo cards with all right, I have to speak this. However, that triggers my other card that cares about me saying these words, and you could build stupid little speech-based engine. Or there, one of the mechanics was gotcha. You were trying to catch other players saying words that were common in the game. And if you played those genuinely, they were very fun and made for a lot of silly moments. The problem with the design of those was if you were trying to play optimally, not speaking was the best way to do it.
Oh my.
So if people were trying, then you would run into games where the less communication via speech, the better. And then that was not necessarily fun. But then I think players that were doing that were kind of defeating the purpose of the set.
Yeah.
It is hard to judge, like, okay, but you do have to try to win the game, and so then how much speaking is like, so yes, there is a flaw in that design, but overall I felt that it made for really fun and funny gameplay, and a lot of those other cards too were just excellent design. Like Cheaty Face came from that set. That's a genuinely funny card trying to sneak a card into play. Like whether you do it successfully or not is funny. It's either ha ha ha, it was under this card the whole time, and the opponent going, oh my god, or you getting caught was also funny.
One thing I've always been curious about is like, when does the statute of limitations on Cheaty Face come into play? Like if let's say it's in a Commander game and I'm doing it, I'm player 4. On player 1's turn, I don't cheat it in. On player 2's turn, I cheat it in. On player 3's turn, they see it on my board. Am I away? Like, if my hand is not currently moving Cheaty Face into play, am I clear?
I want to say that that's taken care of. I'm gonna pull up the exact wording on Cheaty Face, because that's that's a thing that everyone should be concerned about. Is the
Can you imagine like an actual magician like playing magic with that card? Just finessing it in. Every single time my family tries to, my mom and dad try to communicate to the rest of my family like what I do, and they're like, oh, they do Magic the Gathering, and they're like, they do magic? They do magic? That's crazy.
I got hit with that a few times.
Yeah.
I got hit with do a trick.
Oh, yeah. My grandma thinks that I'm a game show host, which
you are
not
That's
incorrect.
True. That's true.
Not incorrect. I host a show about games. Yeah.
Words mean two things,
right? I looked up Cheaty Face. It says, if Cheaty Face is in your hand, you may sneak Cheaty Face onto the battlefield. If an opponent catches you right away, that player may exile Cheaty Face.
Okay, away.
I think in your example, for sure, you're good. You get your Cheaty Face.
So it's an instant.
Right away to me is like, okay, I'm either in the act of it or like no other actions have happened. Like, but yeah.
Where's Cheaty Face on the stack?
Oh, now I'm like imagining the perfect scenario if you're like, oh, I'm just gonna cast this Cheaty Face, and everyone's like, that's cool. And you're like, second Cheaty Face underneath.
Oh my god.
But yes, that's I think there was a lot of success in the earlier unsets, also because there was less pressure to less capitalism pressure. I think back, like, those sets also weren't terribly successful because no meta set can be successful in the same way that the Time Spiral block is very beloved and did not perform well, like as far as money numbers, because it was a Magic referential set. The unsets never did very well, but there was so much love that was poured into them, and they were kind of allowed to design, knowing that, like, hey, this is not going to be that great. I think Infinity suffered a lot because clearly there was pressure to, hey, there has to be some sort of like this set has to do well. Therefore, shocks are in it. Therefore, some of these cards are legal in competitive formats.
Galaxy
Comet,
foil.
baby.
So, I think that's a reason that the previous ones to me felt more genuinely funny than Unfinity did.
Yeah.
They were like, holy cow, they could be terrible Magic cards.
That's a reference, you see? And that is funny. So like we said, one of our greatest naysayers has made it back into the room.
Our resident hater. Now, the thing is, if we get a reaction from Nerd Girl, joke is good.
Yeah.
Boos are also positive. What is crushing is
Yes.
when Nerd Girl goes, because that means did not compute as a joke.
Yep. Yeah, the pause, blank face. Oh, right. That's a word that sounds like the other word. Okay. Yes, I understand that some people could find that funny. Great. I wish you the best on your joke.
Meanwhile,
I don't know why I check my watch for joke.
Were you thinking about the Tumblr meme of checking what time it is, and there's a live shrimp who whispers the time to you in English?
Nope, I did not know
Well,
that
that's what I was
existed.
thinking about.
I'm going to force you to be good to yourselves. What do you think is your best Magic joke or funny thing that you've ever done? It can be a video. It can be a thing that happened in a game. What do you think is your best? Or I know you're not going to be able to go like, oh, this is well, I don't know if it's my best. So one of the best things that you think you've ever done as far as Magic comedy.
I'm locked in. Do you want me to go first?
you go first because I got two in my brain.
Regrettably, it is words mean two things. A few weeks ago, I did a video where the entire punchline was, I'm a theft player, give me your decks. And the video opens with the guy going, I'm running some theft. And the punchline is I overlay in a gun cocking sound effect and go, decks in the bag. And then there's one player who is playing proxies and he goes, not you, brokey. And that was a thing where everybody who commented, it made me so mad because everybody commented on the video like, you're a genius. And I'm like, theft means two things. It's a Magic archetype in a ver. And it was so frustrating because I wanted to be like, no, this is so stupid. It's not actually, like when I thought of it, I wanted to go, no, this is so stupid, not actually that funny. And I filmed it and I looked at the delivery and I'm like, that's really fucking funny. That is genuinely, I enjoy this more watching my own stuff back than I do some of the like very clever things I've written. So I think currently that is the funniest thing I have done. And it's literally, I'm a thief. Do you have?
I'm having a hard time thinking of mine because it's just like it is one of my best performing videos where it's the song what is the title of the song? Oh, the 3 position video. That's right. There's that one, and then there's also the like, our conversations ain't long, but you know what is. And like everyone's expecting like a kind of like take on it, and they're like, oh my God, it's a thirst trap. And then it's just me being like, your fucking turn. Like you're taking way too goddamn long on your fucking turn, wrap it up. Sort of thing. And like that was like one of my favorite things because like I don't know, it's just like everybody wanted like the thirst trap content and I'm like, haha, it's Magic.
Subverted expectations. Fucking got them.
It's just like I think that resonated with like a lot of like women and femmes in Magic too, because they're just like, oh, like, you know, like we can subvert this is great kind of thing. And so like that was like my biggest burst in like women followers, which is the happiest day of my life.
Have you ever been funny?
I've never not been funny.
That's the self-confidence you need to have, people. Self-love. Self-love from Troy Shalakablam. What's your funniest? You can't make us do this and then not do it.
All right, so we'll see you next time.
Hey!
I think my most successful, I am incredibly proud of this, especially since I was saying how it's really, really hard to get anybody to stick with you for any extended joke. Is I did a remake of the movie Memento using a magic game as the premise instead.
So good.
I was really happy with how that came out. However, I am going to say that this one line lives in my head all the time, and it is not from that video. I think it is one of my funniest, and it is. I don't think anybody would agree. But back when I was focused more on making magic parody songs, I wrote one for Ariana Grande's "Thank You Next," and that whole the process, the video and the lyrics make me incredibly happy. I think it is one of my funniest. Video tanked. But the premise was janky decks instead of "Thank You Next," because the words sound similar and therefore comedy, nerd girl.
She is stone-faced off camera, by the way.
And in the song, she sings the line, "I'm so fucking grateful for my ex." And the song, as I had written it, was talking about, hey, so I've got these janky cards in my deck. They're really complicated, and nobody wants, nobody's processing what they're actually doing. And so that line became, "I'm not fucking reading all that text," and it lit up so many little areas of my brain. I was like, that's
so good.
That's exactly what I need. That's just quality comedy. The words sound like the other words, but they have a different meaning, and that meaning is also funny. And yeah, it was combined with me like recreating scenes out of the music video, and the music video itself is a reference to Mean Girls. So you have me doing a bunch of random Mean Girls things. I still have because in the music video they remake the burn book from the video, so I have that prop still with me of making a burn book, but instead it is a list of the janky decks that I have. So it has like that with the cutout letters in the front. And I will keep that with me forever. But that to me is my funniest thing I've ever done, is that single line in that song. Okay. I think we do a boy question.
Yeah, hashtag boy question time. Do we have any on deck, or do we need to go?
We gotta go fishing.
All right, I left my phone all the way over there, and
phone
Z
at home.
left their phone at home, fully at home.
Don't forget, everyone, you can always comment on any of these videos with hashtag boy question. And ask us something, and we will pick one of those at the end of every episode and answer the question for you.
Lord King Bradley, thank you very much for your boy question. What does Commander Puberty look like? I will give the floor, because we're all going to say the same thing. I will give the floor to our guest first, Z. What does Commander Puberty look like?
Please.
It's funny because Commander Puberty is the opposite of regular puberty, where in actual biological puberty you start smelling bad, but Commander Puberty is making yourself smell
I was
good.
about to say it's the opposite of puberty.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I will have
I'm
a real
sorry,
answer for you.
Lord King Bradley. I'm sorry that I'm the only one who had an actual opinion about this. There is a distinct Commander Puberty point. Commander Puberty is the switch from, oh no, I have to discard to hand size, to yippee, I get to discard to hand size.
For me, I don't know what the other puberty is like, but Commander puberty is when winning stops being the most important thing. It is, you start playing a game, any game, and you're like, oh, well, the purpose of trying to play this game is that I would like to win. And then as you learn more about Commander specifically, you're like, oh, that is a silly goal. Like, it can be your goal, but there are so many other things to focus on that will be more fun, that are outside of trying to win a tournament or something. You're like, oh, this does not need to be my number one goal. There are so many other things I can do with this.
Like having an opportunity to yell kapow.
Oh my God.
Kapow, holy cow.
No, kapow's the combat trick, so it would be holy cow, kapow.
I think this is
Holy cow.
Listen, I when I think of puberty, I think of like coming of age kind of things, right? And so like I have two in my head, and this is going to be some old head Magic stuff. I don't know with how connected Magic is now, if anybody will ever run into this ever again. But I strictly remember when I first started playing Magic, and I know other people did this too. I know this won't surprise other people. When I started sleeving up my deck, I'm like, oh, I want my deck to look really pretty. So the instances are going to be blue. The other spells, they're going to be red. And then my lands are going to be green. I had this rainbow colored sleeve deck. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's perfect. Not realizing that's fucking cheating.
Yes.
So I think also puberty being very embarrassing, obvious things that you end up doing. Yeah.
Back in like kitchen table Magic days, I had a deck that was in two different color sleeves simply because I had extra sleeves from two different colors.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah, I just sleeve these randomly. And everybody was like, oh yeah. That was it.
As one does.
That was it. And now we're
As
like,
one does.
oh.
Yeah, you could not get away with that now. Like,
so I think that's one coming of age story of Magic. And then like my other one is just like no longer getting mad at like people trying to stop you. Like, it's just like counterspells don't suck. They're important parts of the game. Removal, important parts of the game. Stop getting mad.
yeah, if you remember from the beginning of the podcast, they are peak comedy, according to Z.
Not if you remove my fucking Sphinx when I'm trying to save us, bro. That Sphinx was for the people.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to follow us on Spotify. And last but not least, when they send the National Guard to come get you, remember which fat fuck sent them. See you next week.